I am again so privileged to be your teacher today, and I just want us to look at a question that has actually been given to me by a student, and I want us to look at it and see what the examiner expected us to get from what they provided to us as a question. And this question has actually been able to get extracted from the mathematical expressions. And of course, there's a topic in Form 2 in the Kenyan system that requires that you understand how different expressions, quadratic expressions, can get well worked out to actually arrive at the answer. So the question is written as x squared less 4y squared, and this is divided by x squared plus 4xy plus 4y squared. So you've been told to simplify to the lowest form, and you're told to leave the answer in the simplest form possible. There are two parts in as far as this question is concerned. We have the numerator and the denominator. I just come here and be able to write down the numerator, work it out, then get to the denominator and get the final answer. So I'm going to write it down, x squared less 4y squared. So if you get a quadratic expression that has only two parts, then that quadratic expression can get factorized, simplified, and worked out in such a way that you're going to employ the third quadratic identity, which states that a minus b, then a plus b. So I can rewrite this quadratic expression in the form a minus b, a plus b. This is the third quadratic identity. So I'll just come here and then ask myself, if this is a and this is b with a negative in between, and this is a and this is b with a positive in between, I can rewrite that quadratic expression in this format. I'll just come here and say the square root of x squared is x less, you better say like that for you to actually understand better. And the square root of 4 is 2, and the square root of y squared is y. I rewrite such an expression, but again use a positive sign. Just say x plus 2y. So the numerator is worked out so that a is x and b is 2y. So that becomes x minus 2y, that is a minus b, then x plus 2y, a plus b. I'll go to the denominator, and in most cases, if working out such a question, you're always advised to work out the denominator, or maybe the numerator. There is a quadratic expression in three parts. We have a, b, and c. Three terms making up that quadratic expression. So I have x squared, then plus 4xy, then plus 4y squared. So I'll expect to actually have this. I'll first write down the sum, then the product. I'm using the factorization method to work out this question. So factorization method. Factorization method. So the sum is our b for this term in the middle, and that is 4. And the product is this last part. We always say a times c. So the sum is b, the coefficient of the term in the middle of that quadratic expression. Then the product is also 4. This is 4. You always take a, the coefficient of x squared, times this c. So it is a times c. And that tells you, like that, you're going to have 1 times 4. So that means you're going to say 1 times 4. That gives you 4. So two numbers when you multiply, you get 4, then you add, you get 4. That is just 2 and 2. Nothing else. So we shall rewrite this. 1x squared plus, instead of writing 4xy, we shall write plus 2xy plus 2xy. So that 2xy plus 2xy, that is 4xy. Then lastly, plus 4y squared. Okay, let's write that here. So I shall come here and say 1x squared, okay, plus 2xy plus 2xy plus 4y squared. Let's factorize out. The common divisor is x, so we shall have x into whatever is left here is just x. No need for us to write 1x. Then plus, we shall have 2y here. Then plus, okay, common divisor here, that is 2y, so it will be 2y into, we shall be left with x, then plus 2y. So we shall be left with x plus 2y, then x plus 2y. So an expression which is a quadratic expression in such an arrangement that has two parts which are the same in terms of what you have actually factorized out can get referred to as a perfect square. So then we shall take a numerator over denominator. So the numerator is here. People are wondering, how did you even arrive at this as the answer? The common divisor of these first two is x. X is common. The divisor of 1 and 2 is just 2. We shall even not even write that 1. So a common divisor of x squared and 2xy is just x. So x into, when 1x is put outside, shall be left with another x. So that x times x, that is x squared or 1x squared. Then if you put out x, we shall be left with 2y. So that is x times 2y, that is 2xy. Let's come back to this. Common divisor of 2 and 4, that is 2. Common divisor of y into y squared, that is y. So 2y into, as a common divisor. 2 into 2, that is 1, that is actually gone. Y and y is gone. We shall be left with x. Here x is plus 2 into 4, that is 2. Y into y squared, that is y. Okay, so this and this are the same. We shall first say x plus 2y, that is it. Then this and this are the same. We shall pick 1, that is x plus 2y. So let's take the numerator, that is x minus 2y. Okay, then x plus 2y. Then the denominator is x plus 2y, x plus 2y. So this and this will disappear. So our final answer is x minus 2y over x plus 2y. That becomes the final answer. We cannot cancel this x and this x, and neither can we cancel this 2y and this 2y. Why? Because there's a minus and a positive. We cannot do that. That is not even acceptable. So that becomes your final answer.